Welcome everybody. We're going to do quick introductions of our CEI team, and then I'm going to be handing it off to Joe. We'll just give a couple more minutes for people to get logged in, and then we're going to do introductions. So thank you for coming and being here today. Hope you enjoyed your first presentation. We're really excited to hear from Parlier and see what they have to say shortly.
My name is Tony Hernandez with CABE, Project to Inspire, Coach and Mentor, and CEI.
I probably should have said my name is Michael Serbin, Director of Family Community Engagement at Cajon Valley Union School District.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Vargas. I'm from the Ontario Montclair School District, and I'm a parent educational specialist.
Hi, everyone. I am Nicole Lovis. I'm with CCEE, and I'm the one doing all the tech support for today's meeting.
And I'm Joe Carmona. I'm Director of Special Programs for Anaheim Union High School District. And with that, I think we are just about ready to go. I know Sylvia gave a little shout for Nicole, keeping the tech smooth and running. So that's a great, important job during all this. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to, and I've heard Tony say it, so I'm trying I'm Parlier Unified, and then they'll correct me, right? So I looked it up on the map, right? So Central Valley folks, welcome, and we're very excited to hear from you. And with that, let's jump right into your presentation.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Joe. So it's Parlier Unified School District. We are located right in the heart of the Central Valley, right in the middle of California. So we get the best of all the worlds of California. We are 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains, 2 hours from LA, 2 hours from the Bay Area. We're right there in the middle of all of it. So thank you for having us this morning. We do appreciate the opportunity to share our journey as to what we've gone through the last couple of years and where we see ourselves going in the next several years as well. All right, so our team that will be presenting today, obviously myself, I am the Assistant Superintendent. I oversee curriculum and instruction, all of the educational services here in the district. Also with us, we have Rosie Borboa, who is our Director of Compensatory Education, which is our catch-all for categorical funds, English language learners, migrant education, and other special groups. We also have with us Lydia Martinez, who is our coordinator for the prevention and intervention. She represents our student services division. We also have from our junior high school, Julissa Alvarado, the principal, as well as Karina Rivera, our learning director, and Idris Valle, who is our teacher there at Parlier Junior High. And then from our elementary site, we have Christina Aguila, who's the principal, Julissa Montalvo, who's our learning director, and Fabiola Rodriguez, who is our teacher there. And then we've also included on our team from the Success Together program, Natalie Correa and Eric Marin. And then supporting us through the County Office of Education, Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, is Lori Wilson. So we'll start off with our demographics, and I will turn it over to Rosie.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Rosie Borboa, and today I'd like just to share with you, there you go. We have a total of 4 elementary schools in Parlier Unified. Each school averages about 480 students. Grade levels that we serve at the elementaries are TK through 6th grade. Within our group of 4 elementary schools, we do have one school, Cesar Chavez Elementary, that houses our dual immersion 90-10 bilingual program. We also have one comprehensive high school, Parlier High School, one middle school, Parlier Junior High School, and one alternative education high school, which is our San Joaquin Valley. So in total, we have a total of 7 schools, 4 elementaries and 3 secondary schools. When we look at our demographics as far as our students, the overall Parlier Unified student enrollment is 3,454. Of those students, we have a little over 1,600 students who are considered English learners. Of the total enrollment, we have a total of 721 students who are reclassified, and this does include students who have been currently reclassified and who are being monitored, including those students who have been reclassified more than the 4 years. Parlier Unified also has a total of 373 migrant students in the district. We have a large population. When we look at Fresno County, the migrant population, we're second or third through other rural communities, to second to Fresno Unified. So we do have a large group of migrant students, and our special education amount or total is 344. So when we look at the whole enrollment, we have 49% of our students are considered English learners. And as Dr. Baltasar mentioned in her presentation for Salinas Unified, the number would increase from 49 to almost 60% if we were to include reclassified students that were just who are within the 4-year monitoring cycle. So we do have a huge EL population, and our migrant population is equivalent to 11%. We do have, when we talk about migrants, we do have a state-funded migrant camp here in the community. It is seasonally opened, and so that is why you see a larger number for Martinez Elementary. As far as like the migrant number, the migrant camp is located 2 blocks away from that school. So most of our migrant students at the elementary level do attend John C. Martinez School. Overall, our students equate to 98.9% are considered social, economically disadvantaged, and 98.1% of our students are Hispanic. So we have a very unique situation where we can really work with our students from different backgrounds. As we are in the process of writing our LCAP, thinking about our LCAP goals, also taking into account the 8 state priorities, and also thinking about our district goals. Our goal this year is to make sure that we are in alignment across vertically, that as we are writing our LCAP goals, that we are also aligning them to our district goals. For example, goal number 1, accomplish students. That is in alignment with state priority 2, 4, 5, and 8. And basically that goal focuses on academic achievement for our students. The district goal for number 2 is supportive environment. And as we're writing our LCAP and thinking about providing supportive environments, we're thinking about culture and climate, making sure that we're providing an inclusive and safe environment for our kids to be in, and with high expectation. And of course, that addresses state priority 1 and 7. And then our third goal is empowered community. And this is where the partnerships with our stakeholders, our parents, our community, and making sure that we create a positive impact, not only with our community and our parents, but that also translates into student achievement. And of course, that is also in alignment to state priority 3 and 6. So those 3 district goals will be represented in our LCAP 3 goals, and also taking into account the 8 state priorities. And something I didn't include here, but we're also, because we have such a high number of English learners and migrants, we are also embedding the California EL roadmap into our entire LCAP goal writing and goal setting. So.
Thank you, Rosie.
You're welcome.
So we started with that because one of our major focus areas has been how to re-engage our families, and then looking at how LCAP and last year the LCP has come into play, and really trying to engage our stakeholders. We had noticed that there was a huge gap in that engagement piece. And so over the last several years, it really has been a struggle, as I'm sure it has in other districts, to try to get parents into the building, to provide feedback, to give us their suggestions, their thoughts from a wide variety. And so in trying to do formal settings, we realized, okay, this is probably not the best way to initially engage out to our families. Now, on top of the usual back to school night and open house and whatnot, we started looking at and diving into what are some other areas and how do we engage our community, especially being a small rural rural community, farming community. You saw the population, our demographics of high migrant. And so with that comes a lot of ideas that a very conservative community, language barriers come into play, lack of understanding how to navigate a formal educational system. And so taking all of that into consideration, we really had to rethink how are we going to re-engage our community. The formal setting really is a fear factor. And so we wanted to chop that up and remove that. And so this year, what we've gone through is an identification as one of the goals you saw there of community empowerment. And so how do we really transfer and empower our local community into understanding how to navigate and move throughout our school system? So this year, we created a coordinator that will be part of what's called the FACE, and that will be our Family and Community Empowerment. And the hiring of that person actually is taking place as we speak. So we are in the middle of preparing for interviews for that. Recently, we did hire a district translator, almost full-time. But in looking at these two positions, that was the start in order to really to connect out with our families. We also created this year a parent advisory committee that had not been in place either. So the connection directly to the superintendent or to district administration has also been bridged out to our community. But looking ahead, we're also laying out how we want this program to continue to grow. And part of this has been influenced by our participation with the initiative as well. And so we actually want to grow our FACE coordinator into eventually leading a team. And so looking ahead to next year, that the FACE program would then include a translator, a media assistant, and then we are also revamping our adult education program, in which our adult ed used to be facilitated by a classified employee, in which we offered ESL classes. What we found is that a lot of our parents are curious about coming back to school and receiving and earning potentially a GED or a high school diploma. And so we're going to switch gears and move towards a certificated adult program. And so all of that will be coordinated under our FACE program. And then if you look out to year 3, our goal is then to have a FACE center, parent resource center with all staff housed in one area, along with the adult education center. And then that way our buildings are set so that our parents know where they can stop in a one-stop shopping, if you will, with those services. And then we want to make sure that it's sustainable so that beyond year 3, this is not something that just happened during COVID or because of funding or whatnot. It's got to be a sustainable program. I think that's something we obviously have learned through this initiative as well. And we want to be able to continue that. Now, all of these programs would not happen without strong partnerships and being able to connect our families with the services surrounding our community. So I'd like to introduce Lydia Martinez to go ahead and jump into that.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lydia Martinez. I'm the district's prevention and intervention coordinator. I work out of student services. Part of my job, I do a lot of the prevention, PBIS, and also working with families and connecting families. Being that we are a small, as we've mentioned, a small rural community of population of about 15,000 residents. Again, it's rural, migrant. We are limited in resources. We're not, like some of the cities where you have a lot of different services available to you or businesses that are able to donate and help. However, this is why this is so important to us. Our partnerships, we take care of our partners. We work closely with them and we maximize the services that we get from all our partnerships. You'll be hearing and seeing a lot of pictures throughout the presentation from the different events. And these are only a few that are listed in this slide. You'll be hearing more about the California Teaching Fellows Foundation that provide the after-school programs. They're at all our events. They have a great team and they connect with the families very well. United Health Centers, we have a whole slide on the services that they provide. Again, we know we can count on them to be at all our events and help us with safety and health services. Through the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, we have the All for Youth, and we've had this now for a couple of years, and it's our behavioral health services. So they come it's an on-site services that they provide to the parents, to the youth, to the community. And so that's really nice because we make a referral and they're able to pull the students out. Even during COVID, now they're doing it virtually, but in a regular, when things were normal, they would just pull the students out of class and make sure that they were getting the services there. Success Together, you're going to hear a great presentation on everything that they're doing and how they're impacting our families. Cultiva la Salud, that is another organization that we rely on. They have great community champions that go out door to door whenever we have events, and they go out and hand out those flyers, personally talk to the families and let them know we have an event coming up. They participated in our COVID vaccination events, the COVID testing events, and they're just out there promoting good health. The city of Parlier, again, great partnership we have because we are a small community. The advantage of being a small community that we all kind of know each other, we work well together. When we work on events, they contact us and let us know that they're doing, whether it's an Easter egg hunt event, community roundup, whatever the case may be, they reach out to us and we partner with them and make sure that we reach out to our families to let them know that the city is providing that. They do bi-weekly food distributions. And again, they let us know so that we can make sure we reach out to our families so that they can go in and receive those services. California Health Collaborative, we heavily rely on them to provide us the prevention and intervention when it comes to drugs and alcohol, tobacco prevention. So they do all the education programs. They come on site and or virtually during these times to reach out to the students. I've relied on them to host big events. Some of our more successful prevention events have been because of the California Health Collaborative. We've hosted town hall meetings for marijuana prevention, for tobacco prevention. We've also hosted every 3 years because they're in such high demand, but every 3 years we do a reality tour. And that has been a successful event where we bring in the parents with the adult, with the child, the adult and the child, and they get to go through different scenes of what would happen to a youth if they went down the path of substance abuse. So that event, we had over 300, and the 3 times we've done it, we've had over 300 parents that attend that. And last but not least on this slide, we have the Parlier Police Department. They've really taken on a role of not just, the enforcement, but prevention and mentoring. We can contact them when we're working with the family, and they'll take the time to work with the youth and talk to them. They're at all our events and help, again, with safety. As I mentioned, United Health Centers, we have a very strong partnership with them. In 2016, we established a school-based clinic, and that is located in the corner right by the district office and one of our elementary schools, Berletic Elementary. The picture is there of their site. So we have the medical clinic, and we also have a section for behavioral health services. So this was established to reduce chronic absenteeism. So if a student is identified, that they need medical services, they can just literally walk over to the clinic, see a doctor, get treatment, and walk back to class. Again, with family, the parent support or authorization. It's also worked really nicely when working with high school students, because if they're receiving behavioral health services, if they need, if they're being seen for treatment, therapy, again, they get an excuse, they walk over to to the center and then walk right back to class. So that has been great. Most recently, with everything going on with COVID, United Health Centers has done a great job in providing a drive-up COVID testing event. We did that at Parlier High School. Within a span of 2 hours, there was over 200 people that got COVID tested. So they had a great team there. They've also most recently been providing the vaccination events, and they did that at for all our Parlier Unified School District staff. And they did that on a weekend, on a Saturday, and it was a drive up, went by really quick, and it was successful. Our most recent event is the event for high school students that are 16 and older, and they were able to receive the vaccine. And so we handed out distributed flyers and promoted the event so that they could take advantage of that. Again, United Health Centers participates in all our events, our showcase, our lights on after school, red ribbon. They will always have a booth, and they're always available to assist us. Also with education, they participated in some of our town hall meetings. They bring in their doctors and talk to parents, and they have bilingual staff, which is essential. We need them to communicate with our families. Okay.
So thank you, Lydia. So we're going to jump over to as we continue our journey and looking at how we support our families and our parents. A couple of years back, one of the things, again, as I mentioned earlier, was getting our parents and supporting our parents to understand how to navigate the school system, and then also how to support their students within the school system. And so one of our partners, Success Together, joined us a couple of years back, and actually even had their own interesting journey through their support. And so I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Eric Marin, who is actually, what is your formal title now over there?
I'm COO and facilitator. So yeah.
Well, he is the guru behind it. So Eric, all yours.
All right. Thank you, Ruben. Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric Morin, and I have been fortunate to get to work with the staff and community in Parlier for the last 3 years. We are a nonprofit, so we do partner with Parlier along with other schools in our immediate area. So our focus is providing parent education and finding ways of how can we support parents. And like the name says, we want them to be successful, and we want to do that together with them. And we want to be able to encourage them in their role as parents. And our long-term goal as an organization is to be able to support them as a person as well. Dr. Diaz was talking about the adult education opportunities. We want to encourage them to do that. After they start taking classes with us, they start getting encouraged and motivated, and we want to help them get to that next step, whether it's starting to take classes through the local community college or other resources in the area. We want to continue supporting them as they want to continue growing as well. So we've been able to work with the parents in Parlier for the last 3 years. The first 2 were under another organization that ended up actually shutting down the program when the pandemic hit. But me and my partner, our CEO, decided, hey, this is a great opportunity for us to continue the same type of work, but really get to do it as the sole focus of our organization, not just as one item or one program under a larger organization. So our program, our organization, we live, breathe parent engagement, parent support. However, during that the 3 years, it's certainly undergone an evolution. I remember the first time that we went out to go hand out flyers in the community. The first week of classes, parents were very resistant, and it was for a number of reasons, certain changes in the district, in the community, just an overall culture of who are you and what are you doing here? And I remember it was to the point where one parent in particular gave one of our trainers a really, really, really hard time over just signing an attendance sheet. And I remember that week, she was really that parent was really giving all of our trainers grief in all the sessions we were doing throughout the week. So that Friday, I called her up and I said, can we talk? And she's like, yeah, you're really going to come and talk. I drove out to Parlier, and from Fresno, that's about a 25, 30-minute drive, depending on traffic. But I went out and we just sat in the library parking lot and talked for about an hour and a half, and I heard her out, and I could easily see you have this passion to support parents. You want to encourage other parents, and you do get so angry and defensive because you don't want anybody left behind. But let's start using that in a positive way and not in a destructive way where you're calling out teachers, calling out principals, but let's be more collaborative. And over the last 3 years, we've been able to start building some of that with the parents, having them have a more trusting relationship, not just with us, but to feel more collaborative with the schools, having them get more involved and really seeing. And I think this year we actually saw a lot of new faces participate in our virtual classes that had not participated with us before. So I think that the community is starting to shift a little bit. And I think there's the double-edged sword of being a small community. It's that you can make a quicker impact because it's smaller, but it's also that much tighter knit and it's harder to crack when it is so small. So it's just been a great experience to be able to work with a school that supports our efforts there, but to also have the opportunity to earn the trust of the families and for them to start vouching for us and say, hey, look, when Success does their class, participate, join us. And when you start having the parents really buy in and they start sharing it, I no longer have to be the salesperson to the parents. The parents are the ones that are really sharing it with others. All of our classes have been virtual. So we've actually taken feedback that we've had from parents over the years. This year I think was just very unique, and where most of the time our classes, schools would say, make it academics, they have to be math, they have to be science. This year was really about support the parents where they are. So most of our classes this year really feel like they talked a lot more about social emotional and how do we be there for parents while they're struggling at home. This year, personally, my son got diagnosed with autism back in September. It's been a learning experience for me. Virtual was a challenge. So I could relate that to the parents and say, look, you're not expected to be perfect, but you just have to support your parent, your child. And that's what we had in our classes. We created topics to try to address those specific areas that they have addressed in the past, or what I think would normally in any type of class would become the detour conversation. We ended up making the topics out of those detours and said, let's just dedicate a session to these areas that you want to talk about. So giving them that safe place to talk about it, I think was really helpful in making parents feel I'm not alone in me struggling this year. Because the other difference is, I think, is a lot of us have people that we can gripe about and complain about of how hard virtual was. But when you can tell somebody how difficult it is, and then they can still encourage you and give you something else to try, that's what our classes did for them. So over the years, we have had more and more parents. We were actually building a lot of steam before the pandemic hit of getting more families engaged. You can see the growth from the first 2 years. And we were doing great. I mean, for the first year, our first year, in that year where we were generating those relationships, that this picture on the bottom left, that was actually after our very first series at the high school. So you can see all the parents there. One thing that we were doing in person was providing childcare, and we were providing meals. It got to the point where the parents would start to say, hey, next week, can we get this instead of that? Can we place our order for what type of food we wanted? But we were really just trying to eliminate the obstacles for parents not to come. Because I would make the phone calls, hey, can you come on this night? Oh, what do I do with my kids? Bring them, we have childcare. But I have to make dinner for the family. We're making dinner too. We're bringing dinner, kind of what excuse do you have left now? So it became a really great incentive for them to participate. But, it's one of those things where having that space where parents can share with one another and participate and have a collaborative environment was really positive. And especially after some of the parents who normally wouldn't get involved started getting involved, you could see the growth in them and feeling more comfortable to speak up, even in the meetings. But then we would just hear from other parents, oh, they spoke up here, they spoke up there. We feel like, the 3 years we've been laying a really good foundation, and we're hoping to be able to continue that partnership going forward.
Thank you, Eric. So you can see how our partnership with them really started to evolve and provide that additional support. But what it also did was it woke up some of our other or brought even more attention to our other programs. And one of our other ones that really does a lot with our community is our California Teaching Fellows. And so they are the main supporter provider to our after school program. And in looking at our expanded learning program or after school program, it really has blossomed into more than just that after school, okay, let me go do homework and then I can move on. And what they've now done is they've now provided that academic tutorial, even in the world of COVID, they morphed and looked at, okay, how do we do online through asynchronous and synchronous learning on days when our students were in asynchronous, in other words, on their own. The teaching fellows came alongside them and were able to offer tutoring services on asynchronous days. So our kids, even though they weren't with their classroom teachers, they were still with an adult. They were still receiving support, and they were still being able to get checked on and worked with. So they've been able to adjust, and we really appreciate that partnership with them. But what they've even done even more is you heard earlier what was called Lights On. And so you can see there on the right side, the Parlier ASP or after school program. They've done this annual program called Lights On, where it's a showcase of here's what the after school programs are doing. And so you can see there, they have theme nights that was past or 2 years ago was a Disney theme. They're able to share out what they do in terms of enrichment. So a lot of enrichment activities come into play. But with this past year, they really got clever. And with being in virtual, we didn't have the opportunity to have the Lights On event. So instead, what the after school program did, or what Teaching Fellows did, was they decided we're going to take the Lights On event to the community. And so we worked with them and we decorated school buses, and each school site took a bus, and we did a parade and went around town. And so back to the parades of during COVID, that really grew a lot of attention. But we had school buses, and this planned hour-long parade ended up lasting probably close to 3.5 hours, but going all over Parlier, really just bringing some joy, some happiness, a real fun time. But you could see that it included the police department, it included the City of Parlier office, the Lions Club, Rotary Club, all these different organizations that came together because of the vision and the passion that our after school, our teaching fellows had. So again, benefiting our community, benefiting our kids, and really engaging our community in a different way than we had done previously. Now, in getting all of this information out, the communication has also had to change over the last couple of years. And so we'll kick over to one of our principals, I believe Ms. Aguilar.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christina Aguila. I am the principal of Matthew J. Berletic, one of our elementary schools here in Parlier. And we have had drastic changes, especially during our COVID pandemic time. One of the biggest changes, and probably one of, as a alumni of Parlier, one of my proudest changes in communication is our superintendent's monthly videos. So our superintendent, Dr. Guerrero, films a video every single month in English and Spanish, and it's an opportunity to give our parents updates, and the videos are posted on our district website and shared on all our social media platforms. So here we do have a sample.
Hello, Parlier community. Welcome to April. This is Dr. Guerrero, Superintendent of Schools, and this is our monthly video update. I can't believe how fast this year is going by, but I am glad that we are very close to opening our doors to all learners for in-person instruction. Our elementary students have been back in school for more than 1 month, and we anticipate to be able to get our secondary students back in school on Tuesday, April 20th. You will be receiving communication from your child's school with additional information very soon. Currently, more than half of our elementary students are receiving in-person instruction. Due to small class sizes in most classrooms and the recent recommendation from the California Department of Public Health to safely decrease social distancing from 6 to 3 feet, We were able to combine classes and offer in-person instruction to our students 4 days a week, Tuesday through Friday. I have personally checked with site staff and have been informed that this change will result in an average of only 12 to 14 students in each classroom, with only a handful having up to 20. We will not let our guard down and will continue to uphold safety procedures throughout the district. I encourage our parents to ask their children about the safety procedures that they are following every day when they are with us. I assure you that your children are very, very important to all of us, and I am so thankful that you trust us to care for them and also to keep them safe. You will get a chance to view the health and safety measures that are in place via a Facebook Live event on the evening of Thursday, April 8th. Please take our survey that is active right now in social media to let us know the time that works best for you. You will be able to virtually tour a school and also get your questions answered live. Other events are also coming up soon. Parent conferences will be held during the weeks after spring break, during the week of April 5th for elementaries, and during the week of April 12th for junior high students. We are in the process of planning for in-person summer school and will be communicating dates and times after spring break so that you can start to make plans. You will also be receiving information regarding graduation close to the end of this month. Let's do our part to be safe so that in-person events can continue to take place. Remember to wear masks, wash our hands regularly, and also keep our distance. Our staff received the second dose of the COVID vaccine at the end of March. We partnered with United Health Centers for this service, and they are also offering it to our community members who qualify for the vaccine. As of April 1st, the vaccine is available to all individuals who are at least 50 years old. Please call 800-492-4227 for an appointment, or you can also schedule one online by going to unitedhealthcenters.org. The United Health Center is currently hosting COVID vaccine events every Tuesday and Thursday by appointment only. I hope that some of you are able to take advantage of this service. You just had an opportunity to celebrate Easter, which to some of us symbolizes a fresh start or a rebirth. We see this all around us as the trees turn from brown to green once again. Soon we will start to also notice new fruit growing in the many fields around us. Let's continue to have faith that our lives will also experience growth as we transition to a much anticipated reality when our students will once again have the opportunity to be kids and learn alongside their teachers and peers. We are making this transition together and will overcome any challenges that may still come our way. Thank you for continuing to be strong, patient, and flexible. I am confident that we will continue to communicate good news next month as well. Please stay safe. I'll see you next month.
So that's she also provides that video in English and Spanish. So the communication to all our parents is there. Board meetings are also streamed both in English and Spanish. And due to the pandemic, there are a limited amount of persons they're able to participate personally there in the meetings. So we do stream them live. Part of our revamping of our school websites, they have included the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as part of our revamping of our every school's website. We also have recently had a Facebook Live event where Superintendent Dr. Guerrero along with admin from another elementary school, provided our parents, our community with information on the safety protocols that we have established in all of our schools. And so that reassurance to our parents of this is what we're doing, this is what it looks like. And from that, we had a big turnout of our parents saying, okay, I'm ready to send my student to on-campus learning. So we had an increase on our numbers there. But this is part of the communications that we've established just recently.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julissa Montalvo, and I'm the Learning Director at Berletic Elementary, and I am also an alumni of Parlier Unified School District. In continuing with the change in communication here for our school and the other schools, the whole district, we have digital marquees at every site, including the district office. And through these digital marquees, we post different information that needs to be shared with our parents, with our students, with our community. For example, board meeting dates. We have updates on COVID guidelines, different things that we're doing at school, just to keep everyone in the community informed. Also a change from what used to be sending home letters to parents that used to go in the backpacks and sometimes didn't make it home. Now we have these other platforms of online communication, which are Parent Square, Peach Jar, electronic flyers, and we have our Aries portal, which is student information system that our parents can access any information of our students, whether it be academic, attendance, and all of these portals have a two-way communication. We send any flyers, any posts that we want to go out. We also can do quick alerts that go out via text message. This is also used for our parents to access direct links to meetings or anything like that that we're inviting them to attend. And our Parent Square is actually a portal that also includes a daily health screening where parents can submit that daily for their students. So that's been really good, and it is a big change from when we were attending school here. Our school sites also did a return to school videos, both in English and in Spanish, that were also presented online for parents to access. And it gave our parents a reassurance of what is actually being following all of the guidelines to keep our kiddos safe. In continuing with our communication, we have our awareness months where we share information with the whole community. And these are some pictures that sample that. You can see here our autism awareness, our Red Ribbon Week. We have there our Safe and Healthy Kids, so our Walk Back to School Day. We have the bullying prevention. So many things that we communicate with our community. School sites come together as a district in partnership with our city partners, and we put activities together to involve and inform our community about the different awarenesses that we want to educate them about. And as you can see, the pictures, just so many people are involved, and it's a great way for us to get together with our community, with our parents and our students outside of the school setting.
All right, so I know we're getting close to time here, so I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. But one of the things we wanted to bring all of this together and looking at all the partnerships and communication and our evolution as time has moved on, what it culminated with was 2 years ago, we were able to create the first ever district showcase, the Parlier Showcase. And what this was a culmination of, we wanted to provide the opportunity for not just communication, but the school sites, the clubs, the departments, every different facet that would impact Parlier Unified to showcase what they do and how they positively impact our students. Unfortunately, you can see the second date that 2020 did not happen, but we want to do, we do plan on returning in 2022 with our showcase. And so you can see here, we'll fly through some pictures. We're able to showcase our different CTE programs, ROP programs, academic support programs at the high school and junior high school. Our partnership with our local community college, Reedley College, our VROP, or I'm sorry, our VAPA, Visual and Performing Arts, Upward Bound, and then our different departments, Student Support Services, our librarian services, our transportation department, even our police department. Our transportation department was even able to provide transportation from all of the different elementary schools. Our parents got to ride the buses from their local school out to the venue where we held this. And so our families thought that was one of the funnest things, to be able to ride the school bus with their kids.
Let's give a virtual round of applause. Great presentation, a lot of information, obviously, right? A lot to share.